The Empty Pot, a folktale from China retold by Nupur Agarwal. There once lived a wise emperor in China. He decided to hand out flower seeds to all the interested contestants, and whoever grew the best flower would be hailed as the emperor's deserving successor. He sent out his men to make this announcement across his kingdom. Come! At the end of the week, a successor to the throne is what the king seeks. Take the royal seed and grow it into a flower. Become the emperor, and upon you royal fortune will shower. Come! At the end of the week. You can imagine the excitement among the crowd. All those eligible fancied themselves to be the next emperor. Amongst them stood Chang, a very passionate gardener. Nothing gave him more pleasure than growing dazzling dahlias and lovely lilies. The sight of roses, chrysanthemums, gerberas would make his heart fill with joy. As he stood in the crowd, he thought, "Oh, this should be so easy. I hope to be the chosen one." On the designated day, he walked to the palace carrying a bright blue pot. 1 foot ahead of the other, and smiling all the way, he joined the gathering. Each man had come with a pot. Some were big, some were small. Some were tall, some were short. Some were pink, some were blue. And then there were ones which had white stripes too. The emperor, in his embroidered silk robe, strode down the line of hopeful entrants, handing each one of them a seed. When Chang received his, he carefully planted it into the soil and carried the pot home. For the next few months, Chang took utmost care of his seed, giving it adequate water and sunlight. He was very hopeful of seeing beautiful bright flowers in his pot. But months went by, and his pot remained empty. Nothing grew in the pot. All around him, people were excitedly talking about how well their seeds had sprouted, how tall their plants had grown, how beautiful their flowers looked. Chang felt confused. He repotted the seed, wondering if fresh soil might help his seed sprout. He tended his pot carefully, hoping and praying that his seed would grow. But another month went by, and still the pot remained empty. He shared his concern with his parents. "I took a pot and I planted a seed. I gave it the water and sunlight it needs. I waited and waited for it to grow. But for all my effort, I have nothing to show. Oh, tell me, whatever shall I do to grow a flower or two?" His parents advised him to go to the emperor with his empty pot and tell the emperor the truth. "Son, you have done your best, we know, and to the king you must go. Tell the king of your care and also of your despair." So, several months later, on the designated day, he trudged to the palace with his empty pot, the bright blue but empty pot. He walked slowly and despondently. He stood quietly at the end of the very long line. Chang noticed that each man there had a pot. Some were big, some were small. Some were tall, some were short. Some were pink, some were blue. And then there were ones which had white stripes too. and all these pots had lovely flowers in them. There were dazzling dahlias, lovely lilies, roses, chrysanthemums, and gerberas too. And when the others saw Chang's empty pot, they laughed at him.
Ha ha ha! Go away, Chang, go away! There's nothing for you here! Ha ha ha!
A voice was then heard.
Make way for the emperor! Make way for the emperor!
The emperor, in his embroidered silk robe, strode down the line of hopeful entrance, viewing each plant.
Oh, what a beautiful lily you have grown! Aha! I like that purple tulip in your pot. Nice! I have never seen a rose this bright.
The emperor then looked at Chang and said,
Young man, who are you? And why have you brought me an empty pot?
Chang had his head bowed low. Keeping his gaze down, he apologized. I'm so sorry, Your Majesty. My name is Chang. I took great care of the seed. I tried my very best, but nothing grew in my pot. I'm so sorry for bringing you an empty pot. The emperor stroked his chin. He faced the crowd and said,
I gave you all a boiled seed to grow a plant that was the best. But it wasn't an ask, it was a test. How from a boiled seed could your plant grow? I do not know. For from a boiled seed, a plant can never show. The seed was given to you all to test your honesty. For with dishonesty, a kingdom can never grow. Chang was the only true one amongst you all, and this I found when I saw his empty pot. So Chang is the chosen one. Hail Chang! Hail the new emperor!